What's up, you guys? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays and 4Ks, and the way we like to buy and own our movies and TV shows. I wasn't intending to do a video today. As I'm recording this on Thursday, I have a video premiering tomorrow that I've already done and was kind of planning to be my big thing this week. But my buddy Ken over at Midlevel Media kind of put out a challenge to some of us other YouTubers within his realm or field of view to talk about Westerns. He's doing an entire month of Westerns, and he kind of put the word out to a lot of us to kind of come on and talk about them too. Now, I'm excited to watch his videos for this month because, as he said, Westerns are a big hole in his repertoire, and they are mine too. I've seen a lot of Westerns. I don't own a lot of them on physical media, and it's just because it's not always my default go-to genre, and I should look at it closer because I do have a few, and I have a few others that I really like that just haven't made it to my collection yet. So The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is a great classic Western. It hasn't made it to my collection yet. I think I got turned off when that one initially came out from Kino because it doesn't have any HDR. It's just a 4K transfer. I hear it's pretty decent transfer, though. I'll be picking that one up when I find it on sale. I think that's what I'm waiting for, is a sale. And I'm going to talk about another one at the end of this little run here that isn't in my collection, but definitely will be. So let's get into this. I'm going to talk about some modern Westerns, as well as some more kind of traditional ones. Let's see. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about, I'm just pulling it up here so I can make sure I have the dates right, is a franchise called I'm making a mess here. It's called the Billy Jack films. Now, these are very, what I would say are, modern. This is kind of what happens when you take the Western genre and cross it with Grindhouse. You kind of got that with some Chuck Norris films in the 70s and early 80s also. Another Western that I do want to add to my collection is, and I hope they still have it, it's not Scorpion, it's Ronin Flicks, I believe, release of Lone Wolf McQuade. To me, that's a modern sort of Western crossed with Grindhouse. And this is the ultimate here. And this is actually a 4-film collection put out by Shout Factory. And there's the films there. The first film's from 1971, and it follows this guy who is an ex-Green Beret. He ends up trying to help save a small town or protect a small town, and this is a running theme within the movies that I choose, Western-wise. And mainly this one also, he's trying to protect some horses from being slaughtered. As it progresses, the movies maybe get a little worse, like they decline in quality as it moves forward, but the social issues within the franchise become more and more apparent. He ends up fighting a lot for Native American rights and that kind of thing. These are grindhousey, violent films, especially the first one. They're good. They're a good time. I remember being a kid and my dad watching these on repeat, either on basic cable or maybe even HBO. I don't remember, but he watched them. And when Shout Factory announced the set, I knew I had to have it. For nothing else, for nostalgia. But highly recommended. All right, so now we're going to go to a 2010 remake of a classic, and some of you guys are going to call blasphemy on this, but I think this is better than the original, and that is True Grit. It's done by the Coen brothers. It's got a great cast. It's got Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, and James Brolin. Got that one with the little slipcover action there. This film tells the story of a teenage girl who hires this guy, played by Jeff Bridges, to go and seek out her father's murderer. This is a small cast, but as you would expect from the Coen brothers, highly stylized, and it's a good time. I really like this film. I believe the original, and I'm pretty sure I saw it as a kid because my dad did watch these kind of things, was a John Wayne movie. and it didn't stick with me, but this one I quite enjoy. I can't believe this isn't on 4K. Is this in 4K yet? It should be in 4K. Why is it on 4K? Good movie. All right, now let's get to my favorite in the set. 4, 5. So technically I've recommended 6 films because there's 4 in the Billy Jack set. But this is one, and Ken, if you're watching this video, you need to add this movie to your list. This is a Vestron release, I believe, or is it MVD? It's MVD. It's an MVD release of Takeshi Miike's Sukiyaki Western Django from 2007. Notably, Quentin Tarantino is in this. Hideko Ito. I'm just really terrible at these names. Ken, me and you are the same this way. But it's a facial recognized if you've been watching Miike films from the early 2000s. But this is Miike's riff on a really old school Western, even to the point where he has painted backgrounds in front of them and stuff. It's highly entertaining. It's very funny. There's a weird, sort of cringy Quentin Tarantino performance, but he's only in there for a really brief moment. Basically, this tells the story of a badass gunfighter who comes to a town, and the town is being basically torn apart by 2 rival gangs, and each gang courts him. They want him to join their gang, and while he does, I think he kind of. Oh, here's the original artwork. Cool. I didn't remember if I flipped this or not. While he is tempted by both, he ends up going his own way, which is not good news for either of the 2 gangs. Highly entertaining, a shit ton of fun, very funny in parts, and it really does riff on, the sort of Italian Western, subgenre of the Western genre overall. Very, very much fun. Let me hold this up here so you can maybe get a pause on it for a second if it focuses. Highly recommended. That is my favorite recommendation for a Western that's physically in my collection. Hell or High Water is something that Ken recommended. It is a Western in Western locale and kind of vibe, but again, it's another sort of more modern film. But if you haven't seen it, I agree with him. I don't know if he's actually watched it or not, but because it is in his watch list, but I highly recommend that film. Now to the film that's not in my collection, but I can't wait for it to be in my collection. It's probably my favorite Western of all time. Not saying it's a small number of films that I actually have paid attention to, but it's coming to 4K and I am pumped, and it's kind of the reason I haven't owned it is because I've been waiting for a good version of it. And Kino Lorber is doing High Plains Drifter within the next couple of months, I believe, in a 4K, and they better do a great job with the HDR because there's some visuals in this movie, and I'm not going to spoil them for you, but there is some eye-popping visuals in this movie that will look gorgeous with proper HDR treatment. So this is a Clint Eastwood film. Tells the story of a badass gunfighter, once again, coming to a small town. He is hired by the town to kind of help pull them together to defend the town, to fight off some gunfighters, some bandits that are on their way to the town to sort of ravage it. What's interesting about this, though, is he's not your typical hero. I mean, he may be in some ways just as bad as the villains that are coming to the town. So it's complicated. It's, got some nice gray area there as far as what a hero is and that kind of thing. Very, very good film. Very entertaining. Kind of bleak at times. And again, like I said, toward the end is very visually arresting. So I am pumped. That will be my number one Western in my collection once that comes out, followed closely by Sukiyaki Western Django. All right, there are my recommendations. If you want to join in and watch some Westerns this month, that's what I'm recommending. That's what I own in my collection, and those films I do watch on a regular basis. I'm going to be looking to add some more things. I'm feeling more and more like I need to pick up this Django 4K release from Arrow and take a look because I'm hearing it's just a beautiful release. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Coming out tomorrow, as I'm recording this on Thursday, coming out tomorrow is a recommendation video for documentary. If you like these kind of recommendation type of things, you want me to recommend more genres or maybe directors or themes. I do a movie theme night once in a while. Also, hit me in the comments. Let me know you like this kind of stuff. Until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf. Share it with your friends and family and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV. I'll see you guys on the next one.